Welcome, recruit, to the most advanced law enforcement agency in the world. We here at Audis would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to train you into one of our formidable and dependable enforcement officers.
The police think they can run everything, but we won't be silenced. Come work for us if you really want to be in control. As corporations sit in their high chair, we work in the dark, and soon enough we will have our day in the light. Sure, they have some better gear, but we have better strategy. Sit next to this nuke till it detonates. While you wait, you can help keep Argus away from it. Use some barbed wire to slow them down, a few Molotovs and smoke to stall their approach, and give yourself the advantage. You're playing home field, so hunker down. Don't let them in there. You signed up, so you agreed to pay your dues. These mega corporations won't see us coming. Just make sure to be smart about it. We're struggling as it is, so use your gear to your advantage. Argus has the luxury of not caring and using all kinds of stuff like
Night vision is one of the many things that officers have access to when in the field. As an officer, you will also be able to access devices that enable easy entry into the held building. Door charges can be used with the clacker to give quick but deadly insertion. Their big brother can also be deadly. While they can be used on doors, the wall charges would rather be put on armored shutters and destructible walls, giving the squad a flexible entry point. If you want a precise cover for open angles or to get through passing vans, use the torch. The squad can also use a range of grenade-based equipment to their advantage. Use frag grenades to clear room without sacrificing the loss of expensive equipment or officers.
That was a great video. Anyways, Due Process is fun and really well made. The team over at Giant Enemy Crab created a really good game when they made this. At its core, CSGO and Siege combined to make a cyberpunk shooter seems like a very overdone thing. I mean, there's a lot of futuristic shooter games with interesting ideas that never really got a start like they should have. Hyperscape, Quantum League, and Splitgate all showed some promise, but never really delivered, whether it was a lack of content, community support, or dev continuation. These games all had interesting ideas, but didn't really stick the landing, and a lot of people, including myself, probably wonder what would happen if these games still got worked on behind the scenes, adding new features, fixing bugs and problems. Now, Due Process is this game. I played it around the start of 2021 and enjoyed it a lot. It was an interesting concept combining the decisive action and strategy of a door-kicking game with the unforgettable visuals of cyberpunk design. Now, while this is cool, it's especially awesome when tied together with the arcade-style voxel bow they put on top of it, which just looks beautiful. A lot of the maps are really well put together as well. One of the maps that sticks with me is from the intro of this video, the convenience store. Now, the biggest thing to understand from this is that there are not a few maps, but a few presets which make the maps, as the game uses procedural generation to make possible thousands of different types. Maps have a lot of different features, but you'll find they all have the same style of rooms and ways to get to objectives. Convenience store is covered in all your rows of food and drink, typical for your dystopian 7-Eleven. But in most cases, these buildings are built to defend themselves. It's obvious that they are built for a violent city, one that would require bulletproof glass for the clerks and armored shutters from the street. This world building not only feeds into the lore and understanding of the world you're in, but it helps further situate interesting gunfights and unique site setups. Most maps will have a sub-objective to be played around, like a power breaker. In convenience store case, it has a shutter button which opens and shuts these armored shutters. The great thing about this is that it's a joint decision to keep it closed or open. Not every time does a defender want to keep the doors open or closed, and neither does the attacker. It helps, sort of improves players' creativity and forces you to make the hard calls. Some of the guns are excellent as well. Similar to the maps, they feed into the realism of the world you're in. The cop side of the guns is quite rigid, having access to a standard issue type of setup, and when it comes to variation, it seems they are added for their functionality, like the shotgun, only having 2 for door breaching rather than legitimate PvP, even though they can definitely be used effectively for it. It would make sense that this rigidity would come in the form of a lack of identity and expression in the Argus Corporation, having tools rather than weapons to achieve their goals. And it makes them foreign to any scenario you see them in, as their matching uniforms and perfect guns are so alien to this world. The criminal guns are amazing as well. They display the complete contrast of the cop guns, being full of personality and variation, which shows that these criminals obviously struggle to source weapons, so they find any type they can. It also displays itself a lot in the weapons available being in only really lower caliber than the rarer heavy penetration types that law enforcement would be privy to. A lot of their weapons are cut and modified as well, the Super Shorty just being a variation of the default shotgun, and the shortened AK carbine being an alternate version of the longer rifle variant. This stokes imagination in the player and is a great way to show the type of people you're playing as without even explaining themselves. Another funny way this introduces itself is in the uniform customization. Many of the battle pass and tiers have custom headgears, haircuts and uniforms, but only really for the defenders. Argus is heavily restricted to a few slightly varying armor sets that boil down to the semantics of the size of knee pads or color of body plates. Due Process uses this to create the division in expression and restrictions between the two factions to a T. Outside of this, Due Process also uses its music for great immersion, and is one of the few games that I play with the music on. It mixes some really powerful guitar leads like the opening in Molotov. With some other really brooding electronic sounds like the main chords in Mechatronic. Mixing these sounds to make a retro sounding mix of that late 80s synth style with some heavy electronic rock notes really just pushes the game to that next level. I find that this music blend, while not being as out front and center like other games of the genre, helps cheer the design and immersion on from the sidelines, just being another thing that completely douses you in the feeling of that last couple of seconds before the cops kick down the door. Some of these songs were an instant save to my playlist, and I heavily recommend you give some a listen. Now, before I keep on going on about how legendary this game is, the only thing I would like to say though, before you do get into playing it, is that as it is only recently that Due Process has been regaining traction, a majority of its non-major servers have gone offline. And as I play from Australia, I consistently have around 100 to 200 ping, which isn't that much of a problem with me. I don't notice it that much except for sometimes, but it may be to some. However, there are some rumors of the servers coming back online. So we can all remain hopeful, because I do think that Giant Enemy Crab wants this game to succeed. So if it means opening more servers, they won't hesitate. I try to be more optimistic about the game's state and how problems will be handled. So my view, I think right now, is that Due Process is just going to get better and better with each dev implement, especially considering they are active in the Due Process community. And to that extent, I would like to thank the dev team over at Giant Enemy Crab and Due Process's whole entire community for all the help they provided. They all helped me understand things about the game I would otherwise be misunderstanding. They are probably one of the greatest communities of committed players and deserve all the praise along with the devs. I don't think normally devs are willing to give almost random people plugins that allow them to spectate any game on a whim, but this team is so committed to sharing their ideas and game philosophy that they did it almost without second thought. And to that end, I would like to thank them for helping me make this video about their great game. So until next time, play due process. I just also wanted to say thank you so much for the positive feedback on my last video. It meant so much to me that all of you liked the video so much, and it makes me want to strive to make better videos for you guys. So thanks for that.